So I get it. You're in the hunt for 2, 5, 10, maybe 15 new altcoins that will explode in 2025. And by your pure luck, you've stumbled across a video that will explain to you exactly how these 5 altcoins will tend to do that. But if we're going to use more technical terms here, I think these 5 altcoins are going to melt faces. Now, by again, your pure luck, I'm going to explain how these 5 altcoins will do this. I'm not just going to run through CoinMarketCap and just show you what it's done in the last bull run. I'm going to give you my fundamental analysis by step 1, 2, and 3 as to why these altcoins will do well. And then also, in, again, your pure luck here, I'm going to go through and actually show you visually what I'm talking about. So put it in layman's terms so anyone can understand this and maybe even apply this to other altcoins as well. So let's now take our attention to the screen. Why these 5 altcoins will explode in 2025. So what are the 5 altcoins? Well, Mina Protocol, ticker is Mina, Hedera, HBAR, and Nillian, which is an unreleased altcoin right now, Mina Protocol, and Quant network. So if you haven't heard of some of these, if you have heard of all of these, if you've heard of none of these, again, I'm going to go over exactly what they are and their place in the ecosystem and why I strongly do believe in the most non-financial way possible that they won't just explode but melt faces in the next bull run. It's interesting because when we look at the next bull run, we're not working off, some of the typical fundamental analysis tools that most people would associate with what you'd have to do in crypto, right? So typical stock market and business methods and research, while that some of obviously plays into it, we have to look at 3 most important things because 2025 is what we call a speculative market, which means it's all just people like you and I speculating the price will go up. And when everyone speculates the same way, of course, psychology dictates that the market will increase. So I actually think that between all of these 5 altcoins, Mina, HBAR, Nillian, Mina Protocol, and Quant, that you can 150x between them, right? So if you're someone looking for new altcoins in your portfolio, listen up because I really do hope that you pay attention to these altcoins. You're going to be very, very sorry if you don't. All right. How am I so confident in saying that essentially to all you people listening? Well, I guess how we're going to break these down. Okay. Now, I've actually broken them down into something again that's going to be digestible to everyone because fundamentally these networks are essentially ground zero for anything that can be built on top of it. So you think of Ethereum, right? You think of all the applications built on the Ethereum network. That's essentially what these are. These are the Ethereum in their own unique respective narratives and ways, okay? So the way I can kind of best describe this before we get into some of those pictures in the designs I've shown you on the right-hand side there, this is what we're dealing with. Okay, so layer 1s, which is what most of these networks are, and in some way they all are, we call them the cities, right? So what does a city do? Well, it provides essentially, technically speaking, an infrastructure for businesses to build in, and then for people or the end users or businesses to then, create demand. So if you could think of dApps as the economy, these are your dApps. So if this was, for example, Ethereum over here at the bottom, you could think of these as MakerDAO and all these different platforms, Uniswap and everything built on top. And of course, they can communicate to one another. And of course, the end users come in and interact with the economy. So this is what we're looking at here. We're fundamentally, in this case, looking at all these projects as the ground zero, or in this case, the cities, which is hence why I've got examples of what they would be like if they were cities. Now, again, I'm going to actually explain to you in a second what I kind of think of these cities individually. Now, again, this is kind of important because I think this is a great way a lot of people can wrap their heads around what the projects do. And then I'm going to get into their price predictions momentarily. So the way that I break down what I think does really well in 2025 or will do well in 2025 is 3 main parts of your research. The first 3 things anyone should do, because chances are this will make up 70 to 80% of the reason why a project will pump in a speculation-based market. That's the first thing, is the narrative. Now, in the sense of, again, keeping to this sentiment or narrative of these are all cities, again, because they kind of akin to our cities' general appeal. So again, why is the city a hub for tourism, work, or why does families want to move there and live there? Meme over here, we actually can rate this on a few different levels. So unique attributes, uniqueness, okay, and direct competition. All right, and so I've made videos touching on this in a deeper detail, but to keep it simple, what's the unique difference of that city? Okay, what's unique / appealing about it? And finally, upgrades, right? So city upgrades / popularity, future plans that will draw in more people. Okay, so we'll touch on the rest of it soon. Let's touch on Mina Protocol first. So a city, again, is a layer 1 or the foundations for what is to come. So this is my artist rendition of Mina Protocol. So Mina is a layer 1 ZKP privacy network. That's the narrative. So that's essentially what will draw the attention into Mina Protocol, right? In the mass sense. We know that crypto typically has, at least from the last bull run, and still to this day does have, these moments where a particular narrative, all these layer 1 networks will shoot up in price. All these ZKP networks will move up in price, right? At the same time. And if we go back, we can look historically that yes, they do line up. Not all projects, when Bitcoin goes to its all-time high, all projects don't just have their all-time high at that stage. It doesn't just work like that. Likewise, you might have, let's just say, oracles all peak at the same time, which may be completely different to when DeFi protocols all peak at their time. So we can play this to in our favor, but it's important to know this because the more narratives and what I call primary narratives, aka what these projects are actually known for, the more that they have, the better, because they're going to hopefully pop off a lot more. We can continue to take profit on, okay? Secondary, these are sub-narratives, right? What they eventually will be known for, or potentially known for, but aren't right now. They're just extras, right? So I've ranked them all on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 obviously being the best. And you'll find that most of these projects are, of course, ranked quite highly because they are fired explosive altcoins. So the meme in this case is, again, this is what it's known for. This is the unique difference, what separates this city from other cities. And in this case, I've ranked them all. So, the whole blockchain size, again, we're talking about cryptocurrency here, not an actual city, right? ZK powered networks. So it's got a whole heap of unique aspects because it is fundamentally at its framework very, very new. You can do all different things. Now, I don't want to get too far into this because what I'm going to do in this video is give you guys this sheet, this framework, so you can just roll through yourself. So I'm going to kind of leave most of these bits of information for you to read through because this might be something you want to follow more research up on. Now, you can, of course, take my non-financial word on it and just look at my rankings. Okay, it is subjective, but you can do that, of course. And I do have all the explanations as to why I've ranked them that above. So, you can go ahead and research that, or again, see that and take my own word for it. Whatever you so may wish. But the reason we do A, B, and C like this, narrative, meme, and upgrades, is because, again, in a speculation environment, the more primary narratives is the more money will flow. The unique difference is what people go, oh, wow, Mina, this is so different from other layer 1 networks, or so different from other zero-knowledge proof networks, or privacy networks. Therefore, that draws more attention to it. Therefore, more money, higher price, we are happy, of course. Upgrades also are the piece of resistance, right? Essentially what it is that the project will randomly spike based on upgrades, planned upgrades, like we can see here with Mina. These are all planned on the roadmap, black and white. We also have popularity, or essentially what announcements that we can't predict because these things pop up sporadically, of course, in the future based on where it's situated, right? What narratives it's in. For example, I always say, Uniswap, you're not going to expect Uniswap to partner with Google, Amazon, Boeing, Ubisoft, but you would expect, obviously, Hedera HBAR to partner with them because of where it's situated within its industry types, okay? So we can kind of look at that, what it's been partnering with in the bear market, and then go, okay, well, maybe in the next 2 years, we can expect some of these larger partnerships to come to fruition, okay? So that's part of that as well, and that all goes into the ranking and the score. Now, here's the real fun part. Kyron's likening to the projects. Why do I like these cities per se? What's my appeal to the cities? Now, again, I've tried to be a bit unique in this video. I've tried to kind of keep it within the theme of this city and what I would envision Mina to be like and what I think it is like, right? So futuristic and at the cutting edge of technology. People will flock to the city because it offers new and improved services that can change the world. This is the city everyone looks to for innovation. Plain and simple. Price prediction for Mina Protocol, 1850. Now this will vary. Again, this will definitely vary as we come into the bull market more and more. Most of this is built off my price predictions. As you can see, I've made a full sheet over here for you guys and a full video for that. So if you haven't seen the video, I'll leave the link down below and I explain how this all works. And then I've kind of added a little bit more to it because I am a bit more bullish on it based on, things that, math essentially, or at least historic information can't account for. Number 2, we have Mina Protocol. So this is the rendition of the city for Mina Protocol. As you can see, quite lush, quite green, quite innovative. So layer 1, EVM layer 1. So whether the EVM layer 1s will ever be a narrative, I'm not too sure. But right now, the reason I rank it 5 out of 10 is because for the most part, there isn't any amazing narratives with Mina Protocol, just like its competitors. Solana, just like, Cardano, those sort of networks as well. These are the reasons why I also think it's got a pretty average meme. Okay, so it's got a really cool, unique thing called the blockchain operating system, which allows seamless migration from Web 2 to Web 3, thanks to the fact that it can compile or at least be coded in Java, which is what most developers in the real world know. And it's got some pretty awesome scalability approaches coming too soon. 5's average, so 6 above's average, of course. And over here, my sort of breakdown is a city that is futuristic and welcoming to all, thanks to the blockchain operating system. Okay, so again, welcoming to all. And that actually is Nia's plan. So the wording I use in here is very specific, right? So I made sure that a lot of research went into that. I'm not just throwing around buzzwords in my personal, opinion on these projects if they were cities. This actually comes from a lot of research. So the ability to write smart contracts in Java, a universal coding language, allows businesses to thrive and therefore a healthy population. Planned upgrades to the city will make it a true Web3 powerhouse for the future. And my price prediction, roughly speaking, at least today, is $34. Next, we go to HBAR. As you can see, HBAR's city, and it's intentional, is quite grim, quite bleak, but you can tell it's very industrialized, right? So it's a layer 1 hashgraph / DAG. It might pump from a DAG narrative. And it's enterprise grade, it's gaming, supply chain, IoT. These things will definitely come in time. It's a 6 out of 10 for now because the main narratives that are forming for HBAR are still to come, right? Again, it is a very much so building type network. Only hashgraph in existence, right? Governing council offers a one-of-a-kind governance structure. Fair ordering of transactions mean you can't buy your way to the top of the queue. Again, it's been built from the ground up very, very, comprehensively might be the good word to use here. And the way I've summarized HBAR as a city or essentially an ecosystem is a hard-working industrial city that is still under development. Now, the city may not be as beautiful as the others, however, thanks to the impressive governance design and the foundations it has painfully laid, it is forecast to grow into the largest city in the world. $1.50 is actually kind of where I think it can definitely go to in the bull run. I think the market caps would be about $50 billion, I think, from memory, at about that level, including obviously supply. None of these predictions are excluding supply. We have to obviously be accurate as possible here. Next is Quant. This is my favorite image of them all. This looks really, really nice, I think, okay? So interoperability, tokenization, of course, right? Layer 1 and CBDCs, I think, are to come. 10 out of 10 because these are very powerful narratives in of itself. A lot of money will flow into them, not just from crypto, but the real world as well. World's most agnostic API, which means it can just connect to basically anything. And so it's very, very secure as well. Okay, so no official upgrades publicly available. However, news in and of itself would be a 10 because of who it's associated with. The news itself would be massive if it ever was to come out. Okay, they're dealing with literally the biggest, essentially entities in the world. A reduced score to a 6 must account for a roadmap. So no roadmap, I've got to kind of be fair with the other cities in this case, or other projects, and therefore rank it a 6. So my summary of Quant Network as a city is a city that is connected 24/7, a society that is the hub of the entire world with all forms of transactions processed through it, with massive bridges spanning oceans and hills to other cities. It's the hub of the entire world, essentially. Bridges and pathways lead in and out of each building, offering instant access to anyone, anytime. So it is a city that is deeply connected within each other and the whole world. My price prediction is about $3,950, and I just took that straight from here, okay? Because I think $4,000 is definitely on the cards. I've said before, minimum price I think it could go to is $1,500. More realistic, I think, goal here could be this. It'd be about, again, around the 50 billion market cap like HBAR, of course. Now, last but not least, one you probably haven't heard of yet, Nillian. And this is Nillian, spelled with an N, not an M, like million, but with an N. And this is kind of the rendition I could kind of get to as close to as possible for this amazing project. It really is amazing. So I've ranked it a 10 out of 10 on the score over here for the narratives. Why? Massive narratives coming into the next few years here. Storage, especially cloud infrastructure, privacy, and of course, it will sooner or later be a layer 1, right? When it launches, it hasn't launched yet. will be as an ERC20 token on Ethereum temporarily. Okay, so Nil Message Compute, or NMC, which is the first of its kind, enables post-quantum security to decentralize data with the benefit of speed and availability. So it can never go down, right? It's extremely fast. And when I say it's post-quantum secure, what I'm essentially saying is here, even quantum computers, so computers that are extremely fast, like I can't even begin to describe it. To be honest, I really don't understand it myself enough to talk about it. They're just extremely fast computers, and future-proof computers, such as like sort of nature, are secure against that, so they can't hack into the network. They've quoted themselves as Fort Knox of the metaverse for a reason. And if you can imagine kind of like Amazon Web Service, all these big clouds, most of us have Apple Cloud or Google Cloud sort of storage on our phones or devices. You can imagine if that was completely decentralized data and extremely secure. So you could put anything up on there and be 100% confident none of it could be hacked. Okay, that's essentially what Nillian is. So the token will launch in Q4 of 2023 / probably mid next year, and the network's roadmap is unavailable. However, it goes without saying these events will cause a huge rupture in the market throughout 2024 / 2025. So I've given it a 9 out of 10 here, just because, again, like on token launch, when the mass market knows about this project, it should ideally, hopefully, push the price up quite a bit. So my idea of Nillian is a city that communicates only via the internet. No roads, no pathways. The towers are individual communities that are self-sufficient, yet together are extremely powerful thanks to the energy that courses underneath the city. So it's a very powerful city, is what I'm trying to say here, without actually having physical communication within these towers. Communication is decentralized at the core, yet leveraged to be more powerful than even the most interconnected cities. Now, of course, we have no price prediction because nothing is known, not even the tokenomics really, right? So guys, let me know which city you would like to live in. If you're gonna ask me, to be honest with you guys, I love them all. It depends. I'd probably move city to city, depending on how it went. Obviously, I probably wouldn't want to live in Nillian. I don't think anyone would, right? But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you have liked this different type of breakdown. Again, a lot of it does go into details here, of course. I wanted to take a different spin on this video, but of course there is a serious side of it as well. We do go into the actual reasons as to make the why these projects are good in the first place. And so I really do suggest you go into the link down below and open it up and just read through it yourself. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye.